myself. I used to be extremely shy as a kid, and I still am, and it's something that I find that pushes me is I challenge myself to put myself intentionally in uncomfortable
That,
stuff.
like, for me, I know it's like maybe,
And if I cash you a collector, we never
I don't
take
know,
check, man, rich
a lot.
money man I make, money man I make now, money man I make.
Welcome, everyone.
We have our outdoor special
Mm-hmm.
where it's very cold,
Very cool.
so that's why I'm in a blanket today.
Yeah,
We
it's
definitely have fall weather, but
It's very cold. It's not too cold. A bit chilly,
a little bit.
but we can manage it today. It's a nice view. It's a nice outdoorsy kind of feeling right now.
Yeah.
So I think we should be fine. So
yeah, let's get into it.
welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Every Time Is Now. How are you feeling today?
Feeling great.
Nice.
How are you?
I'm good as well. So we're having some sunshine right now. So should be a good episode today.
Mm-hmm.
So tackling breaking free, overcoming fear and self-doubt to live your best life. So today we got a story to share with you guys.
Yeah. Well, and
so
we all have moments where we feel stuck or unworthy. Some different things and different strategies that you can use to tackle that and overcome that.
Yeah.
It's something that everyone goes through. So yeah, let's dive in.
I mean, yes, self-doubt, absolutely something that everyone has. So yeah, let's dive in. There's a quick teaser that we have here. So stay tuned. Just for the audience, there's gonna be a task for you guys to get involved with as well, just to overcome with these self-doubts and fears and just be the better version of yourself.
Yeah.
So,
and if you keep watching, then you can see our challenge that we have for you guys at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with that said, let's get right into it. So what our fears and self-doubts really are. So I was like, yeah, let's talk about like fears, self-doubt and stuff like that. Like, what is that? Like, for me, I know it's like maybe, I don't know, a lot actually, but I can't think of one right now actually. You go first, Cece.
Well, fear is, something about rejection or failure or not being able to succeed with whatever your goals are.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be even something as so small as, just a conversation that you need to have with someone or something like that. It can really go in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Self-doubt is that little voice that's inside your head
Mm-hmm.
telling you that you can't do something even though you really want to do it, or telling you that you're not good enough, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so we did prepare some notes here, just to keep it a little bit notey, prepare some notes here. So we say, it's something, as you just mentioned, chasing your dreams, pursuing new opportunities, or even just being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely. Today we'll be sharing also some personal stories about us going through some of our fears and overcoming some of those fears, and it's life, right? So we're still a challenge daily, going through some of these said fears and overcoming these challenges, So we'll get into that and tell you just a little bit about some of those, and just to give you a hint of some of the lessons that we've learned from some of these experiences too as well. So with that said,
well, why don't you tell us about a time when you had some fear and it held you back? And
let's actually get an audience engagement first, I guess, before we get into that. Just because I want people to remember that they need to be subscribing to this channel, right? So I'm gonna press that, subscribe to the channel now, like the channel now, and click that bell, and you'll be the first one to hear when there's new episodes out. So let's get it. Subscribe now. It takes a second, right? Like, just click that button right there, subscribe. Click like as well, leave a comment, click thumbs down if it's not it for you. Something, give some reaction.
Yeah, let us know what you're feeling. If you want us to go another way, If you want us to talk about something, or if you really didn't like this episode, let us know.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. Let's create a community where we can talk about these things. You know what I mean? Don't feel as though you're alone. We're here. You know what I mean? There's other people here as well. So comment in that comment section. Let us hear some of these fears and how you have overcome some of these set fears. You know, so
And build
yeah,
that community.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's build it. So we're gonna stress that every single week. Believe me, we're gonna stress that because people need to know that there's a community here for them and support on just a world of people that's going through similarities as you are. So yeah. So we have some actionable tips as well for overcoming these fears and self-doubts. You know, each week we try to go by with topics that people can relate to basically. You know, so we try to go with topics that people can actually have some kind of relatable moments with, and not keeping it too brainstormy, but something very simple, you know, because life is simple as it is already, or it can be not as simple as it should be already. So let's keep it simple, and let's keep it in a way that it will, I don't know, help someone like it has helped us. You know what I mean? So let's definitely get into it, and yeah, so we get into a story or the past or the present. You know, let's get into the my version of what fear I have overcome.
Yeah.
And yeah, some of the tools that I've used to actually bring myself back on track. You know what I mean? So stay tuned. Stay right there and just
Let's
stay
dive
tuned.
in. Tell us about a story or a time where you've had some trouble with failure and what you've done.
I mean, you know, there's something I've always struggled with, a trait I'm not exactly proud of. It's that fear of asking for help. And I don't mean just small things like asking for directions or a favor, you know. Yeah, I'm talking about those moments when I really need help, but I still hold myself back from reaching out. And yeah, I know on the surface it might sound like stubbornness, right? But the truth is, it runs a lot deeper than that. For as long as I can remember, I've always had this voice in my head saying, don't bother, you know, don't bother anyone. They've got their own problems. Why would they want to help you? You know, there's always that nagging thought, what if they throw it back in your face one day? What if they remind me of the times I needed help? It's like this fear of being seen as weak or worse as a burden, you know. And there's the thing, it wasn't just a small issue for me, you know. It became a pattern, kind of a cycle. I could be going through something heavy, could be work stress, family problems, financial struggles. Instead of reaching out, I would sit with it, all thinking that I could overcome it on my own. You know what I mean? And as time goes by, it got worse. As time goes by, just sitting with that fear factor in your head, thinking you can manage on your own. You know, you can do it on your own. Don't bother anyone. Don't find that person to confide with these problems in. You know, just figure it out on your own. Figure it out on your just by yourself. But it's not always that easy, right? It's not always that simple, and it doesn't always need to be that difficult either. I guess there's always someone I think that we can share some of these problems with. Like for instance, I remember just you came to me recent. It wasn't too long ago, by the way, you know, and you're like, "There's something going on," you know, and I'm like, "I'm good." You know, we often just brush it off as, "I'm good," like I'm good, and you left me alone for a while, I think, and then you kept coming.
I gave you some space. Yeah.
Yeah, you kept coming, and I'm like, I'm good, Cece. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. It's fine. It will be okay. But then I remember just sitting there and just really thinking, because I could realize that it was affecting you. You know what I mean? I realized that it was affecting the people that I love. So that's the last thing I wanted to do. So the fear of showing your vulnerable state, of
Yeah.
thinking that you're weak, it can be a challenge sometimes to actually share these vulnerable state,
Mhm.
or moments, or experiences, or challenges.
Well, and I think oftentimes too, a lot of people will they see vulnerability as a weakness,
Yeah.
and needing to ask for help, but really, having that strength because it takes a lot of strength to ask for help.
Hmm.
So having that ability to do so shows a lot of strength within yourself.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's not always practice within a lot of communities to show that strength,
Yeah.
because it's seen as a weakness for a lot of people. So it's not always encouraged to show that strength. So it is a strength,
Yeah.
I find, to actually show you being down, and letting people assist you in the way that they can, and not letting it affect them as much as it's affecting you, when probably they could have been helping you just by even talking it out,
Yeah.
finding ways to figure it out, and not just sitting there worrying because you can't come up with a solution, but actually talking it out enough to know that, well, let's find a solution for it. And you did that, actually. I remember you said to me, you don't always have to go through these on your own. I remember you said that to me a lot of times, and I had to take some time to really like grasp that in,
Yeah.
to really figure that out on my own. Like, yeah, because I've always used to just figuring stuff out on my own, I guess. Difficult situations, difficult decisions, difficult experience. So hearing that, I guess it wasn't the first time I'm hearing that, but it's the first time I was really
Hearing
taking it in.
it.
Yeah, I was really hearing it, you know.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, because it was affecting you, and I could tell, and that's the last thing that I wanted to do. So
Well, and I think affecting you as well.
that's the thing. I wasn't really worried about me, I guess. You know, I'm just worried. I've always been the person that will help others. Like it comes natural to me. Like it's something that's just embedded in me, I guess. The last thing I want to do is receive that help or even ask for that help. But the first thing I want to do is actually give out that help. So when I see that was affecting you, I guess that's the time that when I really start listening,
Yeah.
you know. And then yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff, and we worked through a lot of stuff, and we figured it out. You
Well,
know,
and talk about that self-doubt that you had, like that inner voice inside you telling you.
it's always just we see. There was a time in my life where I was just worried, like worried about financial stuff. Worrying about when is it gonna be that time where I can start my family, being able to provide for that family, stuff like that. And it entwines with jobs too. So I've always had that factor of losing a job, for instance. I've been finding a job and then having that job being gone. And
Right.
then that fear factor and start to come in, like, how do I now provide for that future family? It's not there yet, but I'm worrying already about how am I going to provide for this family. But then I guess we overcome those kind of fears in our head, in my head actually, because I'm talking about me. So yeah, we kind of overcome it a little bit. We talk about stuff like that each day. There's challenge each day.
Yeah, it's still continuing to overcome it and work through it, right?
Yeah, and just be human. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just being human. Yeah,
It's
it
an
took some
ongoing
time.
thing. It's
Yeah,
we're never gonna be in a perfect place, right?
yeah,
So it's continuing to go through it and continuing to work through each thought and each, because self-doubt is something that never will go away.
Right.
It's always going to be there. It's
Right.
just deciding whether we want to choose to act on it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because it will never go away. I
Mm.
think it's something that just, it's always there. It's always going to be in the back of our mind. And we just have to learn how to take that voice, understand where it's coming from, why it's there,
Yeah.
and then choosing, do we want to act on what that inner voice is saying? Because sometimes it can be helpful and keep you safe from certain situations,
Yeah.
but sometimes it can also hold you back. So
Yeah.
you have to, take a step back and look at it and say, is this something that could be holding me back from a potential opportunity
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
something to grow,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just stay tuned, guys. For this short break, there's a clip coming up right now, just expressing how much we appreciate you guys. This has been our third series episode so far,
Third episode, yeah.
and we appreciate all the fan subscribers so far and all the persons that has been on this journey with us. And just stay tuned for the next continuation of overcoming your fear.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Therapy time is now, where the journey doesn't stop here. It begins here, though. So subscribe.
Yeah.
Hi. So yeah, we were just talking about some of the stories that we had of overcoming our fears and challenges, and stuff like isolating ourselves and not wanting to share these moments with people, whether it's good or bad. It's not only the good moments that we should be sharing, right? Like, it's all of us. It's what makes us human. So welcome back, and let's continue. I think I wanted to end off on my 2 cents
Mm-hmm.
of just saying, the thing about fear sometimes is it's just a moment, and it's important to know that it doesn't last. It happens, and you might get over it, whether successfully, smoothly, or there might be some rough road to it, but yeah. So it doesn't last, and the strength is finding yourself while doing it. I mean, finding yourself and just know it doesn't last forever, because it truly doesn't last forever. So, and there'll be different challenges again to overcome. So stay tuned for that one, because there's always challenges to overcome. It's life.
Yep.
The big challenge breakthrough challenge. So I think we wanted to do a big challenge breakthrough challenge for our audience. So we want people to get excited about sharing their fears and how they overcome their fears, and what are they continuously doing to overcome these said fears.
Yeah.
So we want you to do something bold. So in the next 48 hours, whenever you're watching this, it could be a month from now, a year, 2 years, a couple of weeks, the next day, but within the next 48 hours, we're calling it the breakthrough challenge,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what we want people to do is just post something and put with the hashtag Turbo Time is now breakthrough challenge. We want you to share your experiences of how you have overcome some of those set fears, and who was your supporting system.
Well, and it can be something, whatever you want to do in your life that you've been nervous about, whether it's signing up for a class that you've been scared to take, whether that's wanting to learn something new, learning a new language, or something physical, for your own health or health and fitness. It can be applying for a job, applying for a school that you think you wouldn't make it into. And this kind of gets into something I wanted to talk about today as well, which
Yeah.
is it's rejection therapy as well.
Okay.
And it's something that I like to practice with myself. I used to be extremely shy as a
Yeah.
kid, and I still am, and it's something that I find that pushes me. Is I challenge myself to put myself intentionally in uncomfortable situations. And by doing that, it helps you to push past that self doubt, that inner voice that you have inside your head,
Yep.
that fear of failure, of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
for me, rejection is huge, and that's something that I every day I'm continuing to try and
Self
work on.
sabotaging, right? Like
It's
just
very self
sabotaging
sabotaging. Yeah.
yourself, isolating yourself, thinking that you're not worthy, but you are worthy. And to prove it, start this challenge today. Share with us, share with your community, share with your family. How are you breaking through? Tag us. Every time is now breakthrough moments, and we'll feature some of these highlights in our next episode. So comment below some of those challenges that you face and of how you have overcome. Share with us your community. Let's join and build this community together. So share with us and let's continue this conversation as we say every week. Let's continue. It doesn't stop, right? So definitely let's continue this conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah. So isolating yourself basically. Just being shy, I mean afraid of just what people think about you,
Mhm.
I guess. Tell us more about your story, about your journey.
Well, what I was saying is I've been trying to put myself in those uncomfortable situations, and
Mm-hmm.
then um, it helps you to build that confidence, to hear that inner voice, and
Mm-hmm.
decide to still do what you want to do. One thing for me right now is doing this podcast with you.
Yep.
It's something that I was really nervous to do, and I didn't want to do it, but
Still
I
is.
wanted to do it at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
then I just started it, and every time I go and do an episode, I have to push past that initial fear and that
Yeah.
initial self-doubt, that inner voice inside my head,
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to do that. And when you it's almost like your strength training,
Mm-hmm.
because in a way, because the more you put yourself in these uncomfortable
Yeah.
situations and you put yourself to become stronger and push past that first inner voice and self-doubt that's inside your head,
Yeah. It
it
gets
will help
easier.
it gets easier, and also will help you in those harder times when you
Yeah.
need to do something that's more serious, that you've been really scared about, whether it's a big presentation at
Yep.
work or at school, or you have to have a hard conversation with friends or family,
Mm-hmm.
anything like that, whatever is going on in your life,
Mm-hmm.
it helps you to build that resilience, just like how we talked about in a previous episode, build that resilience
Mm-hmm.
inside yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps you to become stronger.
Yeah, exactly. Find that inner superhero. Your superhero should begin with yourself, right? Like find
Yeah.
that inner superhero. And we spoke about that in our first episode actually. So if you haven't seen that one, definitely go back to that one and start your way from there, leading to this one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cece has been doing amazing. We both have been doing amazing.
Yep.
So she's helped me in a lot of ways. I guess I've helped her in a lot of ways as well. So
Yep.
that's a community right there, right?
Yep.
Like there's friends and family around as well. So remember, there's people around you. Find that support system, you
Yep.
know? And if you can't find that support system, you got one right here. Comment
Yep.
below. So,
Well, and it can be something as so simple, like we want you to try and seek out
mm-hmm.
those uncomfortable situations,
Mm-hmm.
and it can even be something so small. Like a good example is the uncomfortable silence,
Yeah.
whenever it's just that awkward silence, I guess. uh, Trying to make yourself comfortable in those uncomfortable
Yeah.
silences, in that
Yeah.
awkward silence. You don't need to feel the need to say something
Yeah.
just because
Absolutely.
there's silence between you
It
and someone
holds more
else.
power just listening and observing, right? Like you
Yeah.
don't always need to be saying something. Simple fact, you're in a bus going to work, wherever you're going, and there comes this person speaking to you. You got people on the bus. Sometimes they're nice people. They just want to talk. And yeah, you're finished giving that greeting, and you're done, and they're uncomfortable. You usually be there reading a book from your Kindle or something, or
Yeah.
just scrolling. But now you're so uncomfortable, you don't even want to take your phone out. Your phone is still in there. Your Kindle is still there. And now you're so tense for this whole 20 minutes trip. No, sit there in silence and reflect. Just reflect that conversation. Oh, this person initiated this conversation just now. That's something that you've never probably would have done, you know. But be proud of the steps that you took in even acknowledging that person. You
Definitely.
know,
Yeah.
actually. having that conversation with that person and finishing that conversation. The conversation is finished. It's a total stranger. Like there's no need to be tense and uncomfortable and nervous and oh I'll not do this again. You know what? Stop taking the bus.
Yeah.
No need
You
for that,
can't
you
do
know what I
that.
mean? No need for that. So be comfortable in those silent situations and reflect, think about some happiness within that 3, 5, 4, 2 seconds that just happened. Think about it and reflect about it. You know what I mean? Think about the journey ahead. Yeah. So absolutely I agree with that. There's no need to always think that you need to be saying something, you know. So reflect, observe and just pay attention to your surrounding, you know what I mean?
Well, and
It's
that's just one small example of what you can do to try to practice
mhm.
and overcome that fear of failure, of
Yeah.
rejection, and overcoming that self doubt, that inner voice that's inside of you. That's just one small example. There's so many different ways.
I mean, fear and self doubts are not your enemies, right? Like, they are just signals that you are stepping into new territories, and the key is not to run away or not to shy away from it, but to, I would say, but to face them, So reflect on those moments. Like, you acknowledge that person, so reflect. Like, you're facing that fear just now. You're in the bus just there. I used to be this person, so like,
Mm.
I wouldn't like people talking to me because I don't know what I'm gonna say, if I'm gonna sound stupid or if I'm gonna sound like I'm not giving the responses that they're expecting.
Yep.
But we're humans, right? Like, just be human. It's simple as that. Just be human.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
thank you guys. We appreciate everyone for joining us with this episode today. So, I mean, story time is now, right?
Yeah.
So there's new episodes coming out every week. We'll try to give it to you every week. Might not be on a Saturday or a Sunday or on a weekend. It might be different times, but we promise you one episode every week. And as time goes by, we'll give you more. Who knows? The TikTok page is coming out soon. Instagram page is coming out soon, but we're gonna keep it on YouTube for now,
Yep.
just so we can stay consistent and have a natural flow of releasing these contents and monitoring these contents and so on. You know what I mean? So we're gonna monitor these contents and make sure that it's reaching people. We don't want to have it all over, so we're not monitoring it. So take it a step at a time. Eventually we get there. We all have a 9 to 5 to get to as well, so it takes time as well. So
Yeah, and we want to build that community. So we want to hear from you guys. We want you to watch our video, like it, tell us what you like, what you don't like. And
yeah,
yeah,
and
thanks
of
for coming
course,
today.
of course, if you like the episode, like the video, right? Subscribe and join us with another episode
Money,
of
man, I
Story Time
bring
is
on
Now.
no time for lose badness, me not
Bye-bye.
chose. Every get a youth, fi make it out of private in the sky, we a shoot. Remember the one pants, one shirt, one shoes. No, you will see me.
Thanks for tuning in to Therapy Time is Now, where the journey doesn't stop here. Keep growing, keep pushing, and we'll catch you next time.
Man, truly inspirational, motivational, fucking